How's it going, YouTube? It's Coyote here. I have spent finally enough time with the Gladiator NXT EVO Space Edition Premium. It's a bit of a mouthful, I don't know why, but up next of a mouthful is the Thrustmaster TWCS, which stands for Thrustmaster Weapons Control System. Not as bad, but these two flight controls, initial review, they're well worth buying. They're fun if you like simulation. If you're getting entry level, I would not suggest these if you're wanting first time, although they are relatively cheap in the field of simulation controls. But to get a better look at the Gladiator NXT EVO, we got a dual action trigger, is a nice thing. Front and back rapid trigger, pointer button there, another button here, another button on the finger, two 4-way hat switches, a mini stick, all of which have press, 3 more buttons down here, up and down switch. This is also really an up and down switch, and then a throttle. It has very smooth controls really, and it has very sensitive inputs. You'll see it very well in the gameplay I'm fixing to show later in this video. But moving on to the Thrustmaster, pretty solid. I wouldn't say it's much better quality than the HOTUS 1, which is the entry level that I bought before this. And if you're getting into it, I would suggest buying the HOTUS 1 first. Unless you have extra money, then I would definitely suggest getting this because it's a lot better. But have two hat switches here, and then an 8-way hat switch here, mini stick with push, 2 more buttons, up down switch, a dial, and then your slider. The one complaint I do have about this, other than the quality, which isn't really a complaint, is the slide is not so smooth. It seems to catch in places unless you're kind of going fast, and it's not, but if you're trying to make small adjustments, it's a little rough, but not too bad. Without further ado, we'll just get into some gameplay, and I can give you a better review after, and you can see just how well each of the controls work while in game. Alright, so now we're jumping into Microsoft Flight Simulator here. We're going into the assistance options, and we're going to go to the preset True to Life and apply to save. This will help get the most realistic experience, obviously, kind of by the name. And then we'll go to journal options, down to flight model, and we'll go over the preset to get the most realistic settings we can have. This will help with the sensitivity of the joystick mainly. So jumping into the flight, we'll close out these stupid little menus. We'll look down here and you can see a direct comparison from the joystick inputs to the actual game right here. Even the slightest little movement is detected with these sensors on this thing. It is incredible. Definitely well worth the price at $165. The one thing that does suck is you gotta pay shipping because they do ship directly from China and you have to buy it through their website. It's not like you can go through Amazon or anything, which kind of sucks. But yeah, you can also see the rotation axis too is very smooth. You can see as you release it, it does softly come back. It doesn't just spring back and forth like a spring does. But jumping in, just flying around, just some gameplay where you can see the inputs here. But this, overall, very happy with the purchase. I did expect a little bit higher quality on the plastic. Some other videos I watched prior to this arriving made me feel that this was going to be a lot better quality. Than a little slightly disappointed, but not that big of a deal. It's still good enough quality in my opinion. I'm very, very happy with the sensitivity of it though. You can just see it is absolutely astonishing. But from here we'll also show some landings in Microsoft Flight Simulator on a bush plane on the short landings, do some helicopter plays, This joystick does have quite a few buttons to actually bind stuff to, which is really nice. And it's really needed when you get into DCS, or if you want to get very technical with trim and all that. But here's a video of me doing the challenge there. It's relatively easy when you have this joystick. Compared to the HOTUS 1, I will say it's a very, very big difference. This, you can get so precise with it, and it flows so much better. Excuse me. And granted, the HOTUS 1 you can get on sale for like 65 to 80 bucks, versus this unit alone is 165. So for upwards of 100 bucks more plus shipping, which at that point you wouldn't need the throttle that the HOTUS 1 has, because it does have the other throttle built into the base with it. So you could use it as that package, but having the other throttle on the side is kind of more fun in my opinion. So I opted to spend the, I think it was 100, 120 to get the other throttle system, which came with a lot more controls, and that's honestly necessary when you get into DCS. I have a whole spreadsheet that has all the different bindings for all the different games, and it gets to be way too much to remember, and I'm still trying to remember all of it. But you can see this landing is just very easy. Now I did kind of veer off a bit, and I should have just used the paddles on the throttle, but I used the twist action instead. And so here's some helicopter gameplay of it. You have to actually change your controller preset. I have a different, I guess, preset account, whatever you want to call it, for fixed wing and then for helicopter, that I can switch back and forth between a Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is necessary because if your flight controls for the plane won't just transfer over for the helicopter, it'll be all sorts of out of whack. But you can see in here just how sensitive it is for helicopters as well. It's just about the same. Helicopters did just recently come into Microsoft Flight Simulator, so this is right now currently, from what I know, the best modeled helicopter, most realistic. The only other one is a Bell 407 or whatever. But I did see one on Marketplace that you could buy. I think it was, I didn't look at it too well though. You can see I kind of struggled right here because I have it set where my rotation axis is also my rudder, as well as the paddles on the throttle, and if I do one and then try and do the other, it goes back and forth and it'll cancel out the other one for a second. And when you're using the joystick and flying around, it's kind of easy to accidentally twist it. So that kind of was screwing me at the beginning of the flight. But trying to land, if you know anything about helicopters, it's extremely hard to hover. So that's what I was trying to do right here. You can just see exactly how much input's going in. It doesn't really look like it overall in the helicopter, but you can see the joystick moving around quite a bit on both the screen and in the game. And I took quite a while to land here. It's quite a challenge. I'm no pilot by any means. I won't claim to be. I'm just a electrician and a college student, fixing to not be, thank God. And I almost fell off the edge right there, but shortly after I actually get the landing, it's a good thing that I'm not a helicopter pilot, because I'd probably be dead with the way I fly these things. Because the first landing that I'd had, I smacked the ground way harder than this, and this one was not all that buttery smooth of a landing, but oh well. Yeah, I veered off, and I could tell I was going to go over the edge again, because Helicopters always want to keep moving to the, they want to keep rotating, and they always want to pull one direction. So in conclusion, overall I would highly suggest the NXT EVO. On the Thrustmaster, for the price, is pretty good. There's probably better out there, honestly, but NXT EVO for price cannot beat. Will say that is a guarantee. This thing's great. Only complaint about it so far is the base slides around just a little bit. Not that big of a deal. Probably just get a better mount for it, or maybe it's I haven't tightened the screws all the way. Although they're pretty small screws, and very easy to tighten. I don't want to over tighten them. Definitely get the premium edition would be my suggestion. For the $30 more, it's a hell of a lot better to have the mini stick. You can program it to be a mouse. I haven't messed around too much with it. And if you do the premium edition, you get the hat switch also shipped with it. So if you don't even want the mini stick, but you want all the other features, you can swap it out. That's the one beautiful thing about this. It is so customizable, and that's the great thing about it. That they intended you to be able to change it to whatever you need it fit for. So I hope you found this video interesting. Please like and subscribe, and have a good one.